H for horse and H for hut. H, 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 h. I for iron, I for ice. E, 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 e. J for jeep and J for juice. J, 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 j. K for knife and K for key. K, 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 k. L for lips and L for lamb. L, 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 l. M for mat and M for moon. M, 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 m. N for neck and N for nail. N, 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 n. O for ox and O for oil. O, 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 o. P for pot and P for pig. P, 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 p. Q for quail and Q for quill. G, 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 g. R for rose and R for run. R, 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 r. S for sand and S for eagle, F for frog, G for girl, H for hat, I for ink pot, J for jar, K for key, L for leaf, M for matchstick, N for nose, O for owl, P for pan, Q for quiet, R for rose, S for sun, T for tub, U for unicorn, V for vase, W for whale, X for xerox, Y for